If you think you need $10,000 to start investing, you're about to be shocked. I'm going to show you exactly how much you need to start, and it's probably way less than you think. Look, I'm also going to give you three simple calculations to figure out how much you need to be investing to get to your freedom number. All right, y'all, look, welcome to Investing Uncomplicated, where I help the everyday investors money in the market make sense. Let me tell you the biggest lie that they telling y'all. The biggest lie that's keeping y'all out the market is that you think you need thousands of dollars to start. You think you got to be rich. You think you have to be in a certain tax bracket. Nah, what I'm about to teach you is how much it takes to actually get you started in the market. I'm going to show you three ways to calculate how much you could be investing. And I'm going to share some common mistakes that you need to avoid. So here's the deal. It doesn't take a whole lot of money to start investing in the stock market. As a matter of fact, most digital brokers that you use, so if you think something like a Moomoo, for instance, you can actually open an account with $0. That's the case for a lot of digital brokers. Many of these, they don't even have account fees or a minimum balance. So you could download a digital broker, set up an account, put no money into it, but you can't do nothing that way, right? But you can actually start investing with as little as $5. Yes, $5 is all you need to start investing in the stock market. And you may ask yourself, like, now, Courtney, I've looked at the market a couple times. I can't buy a share of Apple with $5. It's all good. You don't have to buy an entire share. One of the developments in investing in the market in this modern age in 2025 is that you don't have to buy a whole share. You can buy a fractional share. Okay, that's a piece of a share. Here's the best part, the second best part about buying a fractional share, because the first best part is that you only need $5. The second best part is that even your fractional share grows at the same rate as the full share. So you get the same returns. All right, so now you're interested. Now you say I only need $5 to invest in the market and that I can buy a fractional share. I'm interested. I want to learn more. So talk to me. Once I open my account and I put a few dollars in there, how do I get to a point to where I can calculate how much I need to be investing to hit my goal? So I'm going to share with you three methods. Let's start with number one. Invest what you can afford, not overly analytical, right? I call this the budget method. What you're going to do is you're going to calculate your monthly take home income. You're going to subtract out all of your expenses. Okay. Think about your rent, your utilities, your groceries, your insurances. What you have left, that's your disposable income. That's your kick it money. That's what you live off of and do everything else that's not a bill. When you look at what you have left over, you determine how much of that can you afford to put in the market. So with this first method, this is all about affordability. You determine what fits into your budget. You don't think about the future. You don't think about what other people are doing or what stocks you want to own. It's simple. You just calculate how much you can afford. This is actually the most simple method for determining how much you need to be invest because it's based on how much money you have left at the end of the month. Now let's talk about method two. This one is the savings versus investing rule. I need you to understand that saving is about safety. It's not about building wealth, okay? And it's not about what you start with. It's about how much should stay in savings versus go into investing. So here's the deal. There are a lot of us that have just grown up thinking that what we're supposed to do with our money is saving. Anytime you get paid, you save some of it, right? Save, save, save. But in actuality, when we get to the point where we're ready to start building wealth, there's a simple calculation for determining how much needs to be in a savings account versus how much you're investing. Your savings account should be the total of 6 to 8 months of your expenses. That's in case something comes up unexpectedly, plus any short-term goals that you have. So when you think about short-term goals, this can be a vacation. Maybe you're planning for your wedding, a home renovation. Maybe it's cosmetic surgery. I don't know. Okay, it's 6 to 8 months of your expenses plus your short-term goals. That's all that you should have in savings. Anything above that needs to be in the stock market. So let's say the total of 6 to 8 months of your expenses is $30,000. Then you have short-term goals of $10,000. All you should have in your savings account is $40,000. If you have $70,000 in that savings account, you need to take out $30,000 and invest it in the market. Remember, we invest for the long term. Okay, this is money we won't touch for a year or longer so that it can grow in the market. Don't invest your emergency fund. Okay, you're like, I'm gonna really do what Courtney tells me to do. I'm gonna take everything in savings and put it in the stock market. Don't do that either, because there's short-term volatility in the stock market. So you could take that money, that emergency fund money, put it in the market, and if the market dips, you could lose some of your emergency fund. And we need to preserve that capital. You have a great job. You're making really, really good money, but you know that money is not working for you the way that it should be. You're not by yourself. I meet so many professionals. They're killing it professionally, but they know that they are not using their money to create the lifestyle that they want. Look, most people, they struggle with investing. They either just don't know where to start, or they're so afraid of making the wrong decision. And that's why I created the 5-week investing challenge. Look, it gives you education, pre-recorded videos that you can watch whenever you like. So it fits into your schedule no matter how busy life gets. 5 weeks from now, you could be still trying to figure out what to do with your money, or you could be watching your investments grow. Your future self gonna thank you for the decision that you're about to make today. Go on, click the button. I'll see you in class. Now, let's talk about number 3. Method 3 is more analytical. This is the work backwards method. This is to work backwards towards your freedom number. This is the amount that you need to invest to live off of your investment returns. So if you put this number in the market, you never have to work again. This is when your money works harder than you do. All right, so how this works, again, you're gonna come up with your freedom number, because at some point you're gonna stop working. And you want to know how much money you need in your portfolio to pay you annually so that you don't have to lift a finger. You just live off of your investing. The way that I tell people to calculate this is to start off with how much you're making right now. When you look at how much you're making right now, is that enough for when you retire? Can you cover all of your bills? Are there other bills that you're going to have? Maybe medical expenses. Are there bills that you have now that you're not going to have at retirement? Maybe like a mortgage or a car note. You have to think about what you want life to look like when you stop working. This doesn't have to be a traditional retirement conversation, because I do believe that this generation and even younger generations look at work differently, to where it's not so much about retirement or having permission to stop working or to reach some magic age. It's about when you can live the life that you want because you've made the sacrifices early. So your freedom number is the number that you need to stop working and start living off of your investments. So what you do, start off with what you make now, determine if that's enough or if you need more. Divide that number by 0.05. That's going to give you a big number. It's probably going to be in the millions for most people, especially if you're a high income earner. Okay, so let's say you make $100,000 now, and you say that $100,000 is significant enough for me to live off of when I stop working. Well, you're going to divide $100,000 by 0.05. That's going to give you $2 million. What this means is that in order for you to stop working and keep your income at $100,000 a year, you need $2 million in your portfolio. And your portfolio is going to pay you 5% a year. Okay. Now, typically, when you stop working, We don't just pull money out of our portfolio willy-nilly, like whenever we feel like it. We got to have a system, because if we just let y'all go and take money out of your investment accounts, that money not going to last long, okay? You're going to blow through that in a couple summertimes. All right, so what we do is we typically live off of 4 to 6%. What that does is it gives us sufficient income while also continuing to grow and outpace inflation. All right, so now we have our freedom number, that big number that's in the millions. So then it becomes, well, how do I know how much I need to invest to get there? This is where you're going to use an investment calculator. So you're going to go to an investment calculator and you're going to enter the amount that you're going to start investing with. This can be cash that you already have. This can be money that you have in a retirement account or already invested in the market. Then you're going to enter an average rate of return. Enter somewhere between 8 to 10%, because that's what the S&P 500 has done for the last 100 years. After that, you're going to play around with how much you're going to invest on a monthly basis. As you adjust the amount that you're going to contribute on a monthly basis, you're going to see the big overall number on the chart go up and down based on your entries. You want to adjust that monthly contribution number up until you see the big number hit whatever your freedom number is. Once you get to your freedom number, in this example, $2 million, you look at the number that you've entered in the calculator, and that's what you need to be contributing on a monthly basis to get to your freedom number. You can also play around with the amount of time that you have in order to get there. If you have less time to get to your freedom number, that's going to mean that you're going to have to make larger monthly contributions. If you have more time, that means the contributions can be a little bit smaller. And if you can average more than 8 to 10% in the stock market, that's going to help you out as well, because your money is going to grow faster. Now, look, like I said, these numbers are going to get pretty big. Don't let that intimidate you. Start where you can. You can always increase your contributions as your income grows or your expenses go down. The key is starting. It's not being perfect. Okay. So let me share with you some mistakes that you absolutely need to avoid as a beginner. Number one, waiting for the perfect amount. You don't have to wait for the perfect amount. You don't have to wait for the perfect time. Just get started and be consistent. Starting with $50 beats waiting for $5,000. Okay. Another mistake you need to avoid is don't invest money that you'll need soon. The market fluctuates. You have to have your emergency fund. Your emergency fund money needs to be separate from your money in the market. Don't invest next year's vacation money. Sometimes you can feel the pressure of wanting to invest a lot of money at once, and it's not necessary. Remember, you can get started with $5. Number three, don't go all in on day one or even day 200 for that matter. Dollar cost average. This is going to reduce your risk. This is investing the same amount of money at a consistent time period, reducing your average cost per share. It's better to invest consistently than to invest a lump sum and be nervous. Don't compare yourself to others either, okay? If $100 a month is all you're investing, do your thing. Don't try to keep up with nobody else. Focus on your own journey and your own freedom number. If you feel like you have very little money to invest, $25 to $100 a month, start with an ETF. A couple of my favorites are VOOG and QQQM. Set all of this up to be invested automatically. The best strategies are the ones that you don't have to think about. They happen even when you're asleep. Don't overcomplicate this. All right. There are three ways that you can calculate how much you need to be investing. There's the how much can you afford method. There's the how much should I be investing versus savings method. And then there's the how much do I need to be investing to hit my freedom number. Stick to your plan. Remember, starting with a little consistently is better than waiting for a lot. If this video spoke to you, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. How much are you going to start investing? Make sure you subscribe and share this video with somebody that you love. See you in the next video.